car is stuck in between the train crossing barriers in Bertrange, Luxembourg. The driver is seen abandoning the car just before the train collides with it. Amazingly, no one is hurt, but the car is wrecked beyond recognition. This semi-truck is apparently stuck in traffic and doesn't realize the train's horns are directed at it. The conductor hits the brakes but ends up ramming the back of the trailer. A train in Poland crashes into a truck stuck halfway over a train crossing. No one was hurt, thanks to the conductor who can be seen here running through the aisle, warning the passengers to get down. This truck driver doesn't see or hear the train coming from behind. He loses his cargo but comes out of the accident uninjured. A trailer with construction equipment is stuck on the train tracks. The driver abandons the vehicle just before the train rams right through it. A car accident leaves a minivan on top of the train tracks at a crossing. The driver exits the vehicle and records it being demolished by the oncoming train from a safe distance. This bus driver miscalculates the speed of the train. Luckily, it was a slow-speed collision and no one is injured. A truck attempts to cross the tracks even though the red lights are flashing. The truck loses its trailer, but thankfully no one is injured. Another semi-truck is stuck at a crossing. The train pushes the truck forward, but this driver manages to pull away to safety. A train rushes into the crossing, horns blazing. A semi-truck notices the train in the nick of time and stops just short of the tracks. Even so, the train clips the bumper of the truck. This truck driver isn't paying attention and drives onto the tracks, just as the train enters the crossing. A pickup truck is rear-ended by a trolley. It does a few turns, but otherwise, the driver is uninjured. Two cars can be seen broken down due to a head-on collision. The problem is that they're stuck on a train crossing. One of the drivers sees the train coming and warns the other driver. They both evacuate to safety. A car tries to outrun a freight train coming from its right, but unfortunately fails. However, lucky for him, the train pushes the car out of the way and the car comes out safe and intact. This car stalls in between the gates of a train crossing. The doors are open and the driver can be seen safely at a distance. The gates come down at a railroad crossing, but a black SUV forces itself onto the tracks and gets trapped. At this point, he should just break the gates and pay for the damages, but instead he backs up and tries to make a U-turn. Even if he managed the turn, the gates behind him are also closed, something he notices mid-turn, forcing him to stop. Just when everything seems to be going downhill, the safety marshal runs onto the tracks and opens the gates. The SUV rushes out of the crossing just as a train passes by. The driver sees the train coming and tries to stop, but the car slips because of the snow and hits the oncoming train. A Mini Cooper is trapped in between the gates. Surprisingly, it drives straight into the train just as it passes. Luckily, only the front of the car is damaged, and the driver comes out of the ordeal uninjured. This truck driver doesn't see the tram coming from his right and collides with it. The truck bounces off, and no one is hurt. A limo is seen dangling on a railroad crossing, and subsequently gets slammed by an oncoming train. Everyone got out in time and no one was hurt, but this limo isn't going anywhere anytime soon. This police dashcam footage captures an otherwise ordinary day, when a truck comes out of nowhere and collides with a train. Fortunately, the train hits the rear of the car and the driver is uninjured. This blue car gets trapped inside the train crossing. He does the right thing and breaks the gates in order to get to safety. A truck is stuck on the train tracks and the driver can be seen looking helplessly on the side. Another semi-truck is stuck on the tracks with a driver looking helplessly on the side. Leaf debris on the tracks cause railroad equipment to misinterpret the position of the train and open the gates at the crossing mistakenly. Two cars can be seen speeding through the crossing a fraction of a second before the train. No one was hurt in this incident. A semi-truck is stuck on the tracks and can't move. The driver of the truck can be seen trying to warn the train conductor of the roadblock. However, trains simply cannot stop as quickly as cars, and plummets through the truck and its cargo. Another truck driver tries to warn another train conductor of another impending roadblock. To no avail. A trolley rams through several vehicles that were all starting to enter the intersection. A conductor sees a truck carrying lumber on a collision course. Surprisingly, the truck's not going over the crossing, but over bare tracks. Perhaps he thought he had a chance if he drove over the tracks instead of the crossing. Thank you for watching. That's all the life essence we have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really makes our day.